Welcome to Bam Bam's Boom Boom Room, starring your host, Bam Bam, and frankly, whoever the fuck that I want.
All right, welcome here to Bam Bam's Boom Boom Room, and today we have a special guest. Well, all of my guests are special, especially this one. There's a lot of special on this one. Mike Dziadul, French-Canadian, I'm guessing?
Kind of, yes.
But that last name, that's not French-Canadian, is it?
No. It's from Saudi Arabia. So I was actually born like Mohammed Abdul Dziadul.
Wow, okay.
No, that's not true.
Shit, because I used to live in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, did you? No, my family name is actually a Belarusian name.
Okay.
Like a very traditional peasant name. It like basically translates to like old wise man, but my family's from Poland, and Dziadul is pronounced Dziadul over there. And it also exists over there, but it's more like an old, dirty man. So the different language kind of translate differently.
Well, a lot of old wise men are old dirty men.
Yes.
I mean, so...
I guess it's one and one.
Yeah, because they're too busy being wise to go take a shower.
Yes.
How you been, man?
Very good.
We know each other from like different beer bars and stuff like that.
The small Copenhagen bar scene.
Yeah, you used to have the Compass.
Compass, yeah, we still have it.
You still have it? It's still yours?
Yeah,
okay,
yes,
all right.
Yes.
Right, and we kind of like have similar friends around in all that area. And well, let's start out with a speed round.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have some fun. Let's start in soft. So, what do you nerd or geek hardest?
Lego and ants.
Ants as in the
insect.
So you have ant farms?
Yeah, I'm an ant keeper.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm just enough on the spectrum to be an ant keeper.
I know. But do you ever like put two species together and watch them like
no,
go to
that's
war?
the thing. Like Ant Canada like to do, like this YouTube channel, and no. I mean, I like to watch it in the wild when I see it happening.
Yeah.
So like in my courtyard, I actually know where the different like colonies are. And then I know like which time of the year to watch for like the fights, and then it's super interesting. But I would not do it on purpose.
You weren't one of the kids with the magnifying
No.
glasses? No.
Like I it's like when I kill an ant by accident, it kind of bothered me a week after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. The only insect that I don't have problems with are the small fruit flies. And, and wasps.
Yeah.
Wasps are just basically drunk bikers walking into the bar looking for a fight.
Yeah. Wasps is almost like pleasant to kill them. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? There's a study. I think there is some university. I'm not sure if it was in Denmark or abroad that are weaponizing wasps to use as like a pesticide. And all I'm thinking is, have we not watched enough Marvel and enough sci-fi to know that is a terrible idea?
Yeah. That doesn't sound good. I mean, I don't know if you heard also like about the radioactive wasps in the US. Like maybe they should blend them together, shake it a bit, and it's like, ooh, we're there.
You can hear that crazy scientist that you know is still a virgin and that has never spoken to a woman and been bullied his entire life. That starts out saying, "We took a tarantula hawk," and you're like, "No. Would someone give this man a blowjob right now?" So, what's your favorite ant sort or species?
I mean, like I have like the Lasius niger, which is like the common garden ant that everybody has in Copenhagen. They're super, like they call them like the Labrador of ants. They're like very easy to keep, and they're very chill, and they do everything, but they're not hyper specialized. So like there's ants which are gonna do like like this weaving, or they're gonna like those are just like super multi-purpose ants which do everything. So
So how did you pronounce the name again?
Lasius niger.
So that
it could be
the
pronounced.
The last part is pronounced that way. You sure about that?
Yeah, it's actually I think it's pronounced with the art air.
What color are those ants?
They're black.
Okay. We're just gonna leave that one there for a bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dig on this.
No. All ant lives matter. So
definitely.
So no like favorites in like the bullet ant or the leaf cutters.
I mean, they're super cool, but it's just those I don't have them. So, and like I'm gonna watch documentary and be like, oh, that's super cool. But I mean, I like the one we can see like every day in our courtyard, like the one you don't think about. I think it's like the underdog of ants.
Yeah. What is the ant that everybody calls a tisamur or a piss ant? The one that don't they have some sort of a
Yeah, they can throw like they can like spit acid.
Oh wow.
But usually when they do that, you think you're being bitten
Yeah.
because it gonna hurt the same, but it's basically like formidalic acid that they're throwing.
Wow.
So yeah.
Talk about chemical warfare.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like if you want to read about like warfare and ants, I mean, like they also commit like a suicide bombing. So like there's like a species of ant which, when they know they're getting overwhelmed, they're gonna like go split on themselves.
Yeah.
And then rip off their stomach, which is like filled with acid, and that gonna
Holy shit.
So yeah, it's up there. It's up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, ants are one of the few species with humans that do wage war.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did agriculture before us. So
Yeah.
like ants gonna have like basically kind of mushroom farms. They keep other insects as a milk cow kind of thing.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Yeah, they're almost like humans, but yet so far away.
Yeah, it's like the Zergs in like StarCraft.
Yeah, in
kind of
StarCraft.
thing.
Yeah, I remember the Zergs. Yeah, Hive Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and Lego nerding.
Yeah, that's Denmark, right?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
I want my citizenship one day, so.
Yeah, we used to be Vikings and raped and hoarded and pillaged, and now we created plastic things that you click together.
Yes. Yeah, it's
wow.
as satisfying.
Yeah. Went downhill, huh? For the masculinity
Yeah,
part.
yeah. Well, there's Viking Lego now, so.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
you don't get the raping and pillaging pieces with
Well,
that.
you can play it out, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah, sure you can. Your fantasy.
Yes.
That's the limits.
Yeah.
So any like favorite? Is it Star Wars Lego or is it
No, I like the city one actually.
the Lego City? Yeah.
I like to build like at home. I have like basically like this table size, and I have my own city on it, and yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, and pirates. I kind of like them, but yeah.
That's because pirates are never not cool.
Well, it's a kind of boomer thing though. Like kids don't care about pirates. Like it's like our generation, like like we're like, hey, pirates. That's sure sell,
Exactly.
but it's not. No.
Well, that's because that modern youngsters, when they think of pirates, they think of skinny Somalians.
Yeah.
I mean-
but I think they're cool too.
Oh yeah. I am the captain now.
I mean, I'm sorry, like storming like a huge boat with like this small dinghy and like taking it over. I mean, like, no, man, that's pretty badass.
You'd think from a tactical point of view, it'd be much easier to deal with that if, I mean, you have, first of all, you have an open ocean, meaning your
Yeah.
visibility 360 should be pretty good.
Yeah.
You're in an elevated position. I mean, I've seen the Rock movie enough times to know that the elevated position is by far the strongest position you can have.
Yeah.
And you could be one dude maybe with a saw or something, and that would be it.
Yeah.
And it seems like fun.
But I mean, I don't think they're that often successful.
No,
I think it's like really when they caught the boat, which was kind of like
off guard, yeah.
Yeah, off guard, and I don't think all the boats have actually guards on
No,
duty,
no,
or if they have, it's probably the bare minimum because, of course, it's big companies who are gonna cut the cost whenever they want,
Yeah,
whenever they can.
exactly.
So I guess that's
And then when you look into it, a lot of those pirates really have, at times, good cause because of what has happened geopolitically and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, or they don't have any other options.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I love that they have a stock market in Somalia for pirates, so you can invest on like the next pirate. Like those guys, they're on to something. Like I'm sure they're gonna make it.
They need some like cool pirate names too, though.
Yeah.
And they need to bring back the parrot.
The hat.
Yeah.
I mean, like South Park kind of touched on that. and
Exactly,
I think
yeah.
Cartman was into something.
Cartman always has a very interesting point of view on things like that.
For 30 years, or I don't know how long like South Park has been going, but yeah,
Speaking about wise men.
definitely.
Okay, number 2. What's your take on the 100 dudes versus a gorilla?
Well, the 100 dudes. I mean, we used to like hunt mammoths.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of don't get like that thing that went by. I mean, yeah, it's 100 Danes, like modern Danes who like love to drink like latte. Probably not, but I mean, yeah, on paper, like, yeah, we used to hunt mammoths. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and logistically, it doesn't make sense. 100 dudes versus one gorilla, and they're all going to go. It's a logistical mess.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You believe in aliens?
Kinda. I mean, like, yeah, I assume like there's life out there.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that like right now, like all the governments are controlled by aliens, and that will explain everything. I'll be, that makes sense. Like if like tomorrow, like in the news, they're like, yeah, we have to tell you, like the lizard people have been controlling us for the last like 50 years. I get it now. That just actually now that makes sense. I'm right there. Okay, I get it.
Now, I have a completely 180 view on that because I think it's the complete opposite.
Uh-huh.
I think the aliens started and then they were kind of like they left us in the oven and then a phone rang. And then they came back and they're like, "Oh shit. God. Oh." And they're kind of looking at each other and going, "Ooh, what's the boss gonna say about this one?" I mean, we're basically that ad hoc project at work that went wrong.
I mean, when you read like old religious history, that kind of would make sense. Also, like they came and they gave us like some teaching, like do shall not do that, and then they came back and they're like, "Oh Jesus Christ, they crucified Jesus Christ."
That wasn't the point, guys. I mean, oh God, yeah. We're basically an ant farm that
that went wild.
You dropped probably some cocaine down there, and then one ant just went berserk. I mean, no, not gonna happen. Would you bring a mistress to a Coldplay concert?
Yeah. I think they were so dumb. I mean, like they could have played it off like nobody will know about it, but they have to do the most dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
And we only talk about them because they're so dumb. And the thing that shocked me is like those people had like really high position in really big companies. And I'm like, can you be really that stupid? Like,
but on the other hand, I mean, it just proves that they're super soft white people.
Yeah.
That he brings his mistress to a Coldplay. You bring your wife to a Coldplay concert.
Yeah, the Coldplay thing. I mean, like that's a whole different discussion. But
you bring your mistress to a Marilyn Manson concert.
Is he still touring?
I have no idea. I haven't followed that in many years now, but I just remember that music was like, hey, you listen to that music with someone that you kind of want to get into in the pants with, and then you're gonna listen to Coldplay. What kind of sex are you getting out of going to a Coldplay concert?
You make love, I guess, and you cry at the end.
Yeah, and then you go sit down and pee.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God. Oh yeah. Well, that was the quickfire round. What'd you think?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Well, easing up here.
Yes.
So, Mikey, where are you from?
So I'm born in Sherbrooke, which is 200 kilometers from Montreal. Working class, fucked up French Canadian city.
Yeah.
Lived there until I was 22. Then I moved to Europe. Basically, I was living in Vilnius, then Slovakia, Netherlands, and Denmark.
Okay. So what was upbringing in that little town?
Pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I had like a really good family, so it wasn't like in my household was not bad, but like just to give you a perspective, like Sherbrooke, for like 20 or 30 years was the poorest city in Canada, and I was living in the poorest neighborhood of that city.
Oh.
So like they definitely was like worse kind of ghetto, like like in Montreal or Toronto, but Sherbrooke was like I mean when I go home, like some of my friends, like childhood friends, like very young childhood friends, I'm like, it's a wonder like none of us did like jail time or something like this.
Oh really?
Yeah. It used like people who know, like we had like so when there was a bike war in Canada.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the most feared chapter of the Hells Angels was in Sherbrooke.
Yeah. In
Lennoxville. So like few times I've met people who kind of were like into like biker thing and they're, oh yeah, that's the place. And I'm like, yeah. And yeah, that I remember like as a kid, like we didn't want to go by the river because we were expecting to find like sleeping bags with bodies in there.
Jesus.
So, I mean, it was like once every like 3 weeks, like they would be in the news like, oh yeah, there's some other guy went floating with his sleeping bag in there.
Oh God.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember that biker war. I can't remember who the Hells Angels was. It Outlaws?
The Rockers.
Oh yeah.
Which basically became the Bandidos later on. So like it's basically what you had in Denmark, because the Danes love to talk about like the biker war, like the Nordic war they had.
Yeah.
And I think the Nordic war had like 7 or 9 casualty.
Yeah.
And what we had in Quebec, it's like they don't know the number. They expect it's in the 1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Denmark is the safest little
Yeah.
little egg yolk somewhere. It's like, ooh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But did that lead to, because you did military service in Canada?
Yes.
Did that upbringing and that poverty, did that lead you to military service?
Kind of. I mean, like at the time, so like the army in Canada paid quite well.
Yeah.
Back then, especially, I think they were paying even better. I'm not sure how much they've been following with the inflation, but I know they have problem with retention now. So I guess the salary are not as good as they used to be. But they were paying good salary. They were paying education, which is not so expensive in Canada, but it's still like, it's a fair amount of money. And I personally joined after reading a quote. I don't remember from where I got it, but it was like, no matter what you think about the military, there's stuff you're going to learn there that's going to be useful.
Of course.
And if you want to topple the government, I mean, like, you have to learn from the best.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's a good way to view it.
Yeah, so
where did you start? How did you start then?
So I joined the Sherbrooke Hussar, which was like an armor regiment.
Yeah,
like
Hussar, yeah.
Yeah. I was there, I joined in 1999. Starting my boot camp in 2000, and stayed there for 7 years, basically.
Yeah.
At the end, I was a master corporal, which is like sergeant, and I was giving like boot camps. And yeah.
But so you went in 2000. Were you deployed anywhere?
No. We could have. I mean, like, so in Canada, like, because I was part of the reserve, so it was all volunteer.
Yeah.
And I had zero interest in going to Afghanistan. I thought like that war was absolutely bullshit.
Yeah.
So when they offered us to go, like, I remember being like, nah.
No. Nor Iraq either.
Canada was not in Iraq.
No, that was right. Yeah. So no Afghanistan. Okay. And so what was? I mean, you were in the armored cavalry, right? So that must be tanks and.
So it's a LAV 1 basically. We had the old model, like they call them Cougars, like 76 millimeter. Later on, my regiment transformed into like a armor recon.
Yeah.
So we had like the G-Wagon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like them, to be honest.
It's a piece of shit, but you still love it. It's like that.
No, I didn't. I actually, like, when I came to Europe and like people are really into G-Wagon.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it's a joke. I was like, no, but that's a piece of shit thing. And I mean, but I have friends like, like if you ask them like, what's your dreams? Like, I want a G-Wagon.
Yeah, but the two G-Wagons are different.
I can get it with a Rover. I can get it like with a Humvee. But
the Humvee, the military Humvee.
Yeah, I mean they look big. I can get it if people are really into it. Otherwise, I mean, I'm like, yeah, man, a G-Wagon is like, it's a car made. It's not made by Volvo, but it could as well be made by Volvo.
But don't you need safety?
Yeah, I mean, the vehicle are good for what they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's safety against like, small firearm.
Yeah.
And I mean, having a turret on top, I mean, the vehicle was not built to have a turret on top. They topple quite easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, before we had the Iltis, which was like this really old, like Vietnam era Jeep, which was like really quick, really like, like you could really go like off road and really move around. But there was no armor and no way to build armor on it. And I always thought that this was more, especially if you do recon, like more.
Yeah. Makes sense. If you're doing recon, you want light and fast.
Yeah.
And
the G-Wagon, I mean, it's kind of recon. It's like, people see you coming and they see you leaving.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Land Cruiser would probably be a better.
Yeah.
And of course, the old school Land Rover. The SAS used it, so how bad can it be?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But what about, and you guys had, what do you call them? Armored vehicles like the Bradleys and stuff like that?
Yeah. No, they were not called Bradley. We had the Coyotes. Which is like LAV 3, I think, like call it NATO.
Yeah.
But like I had like, introduction to those vehicles. So like we like ride a day or two, but I was never trained on those things.
No.
Those are pretty good though. From
Yeah.
what I've seen, that's legit good.
Yeah, what's that? A 30 mic or a 40 mic on 30 mic
I think.
autocannon?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll wreak
Yeah,
havoc on you, man.
yeah.
And just that noise, thump, thump,
Yes,
thump, thump,
yes.
thump, thump. Oof. And
Yeah.
then the tracer that just goes, pching.
Yeah.
Fun at night.
Yes. And I mean, like, yeah, that's something that's effective.
I've always thought that those with tanks, more of those, less tanks, would actually be better armored cavalry doctrine in situations that, because the way that you see tanks being used today, especially in the modern war theaters, it just seems wrong.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, when I joined when we did like our armor training, like the tanker training, they were telling us we are the last generation of tankists.
Yeah.
It's over. Like they were saying, like this, like armor gonna disappear. And to be honest, I think that's what should have happened.
Yeah.
There's still space for the vehicles themselves for some operation, but having an armor regiment or having like a armor doctrine doesn't make sense. What makes sense is to use them in some. It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool that can be used in specific situation, but to use them as a multi-purpose thing, that's bullshit.
No. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
bullshit. It's not going to change anything. I mean, in Ukraine we saw it. They sent a bunch of tanks and they were like, okay, like now Ukraine got so many tanks and gonna change. It doesn't change anything.
No.
They're easy to see. They're easy to like destroy. They're sitting ducks.
Yeah.
They have high firepower, but nowadays you can like give like a, I forgot the name, but like those basically like Carl Gustav kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's gonna take off like any tank.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, and a tank that stands still is basically just a tomb.
Yes.
I think, what was it in Yugoslavia? They said when a tank, the treads come off, it has 2 minutes for the crew to get out.
Yeah.
And then the big old A-10 comes lumbering in and goes, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now with drones, it's even less. I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, air superiority has nothing to. I mean, basically, it's who has the most drones up there. You know what I mean?
yes.
About sending a double-digit billion-dollar aircraft up. It's like, why?
Yeah. I think that's the big mind fuck for like the military industry, because they've always been producing for profit in a way.
Yeah,
So
of
you had
course.
like those massive, like expensive, like fighter jets, and then those like overly engineered tanks. And now they realize like, no, actually, like a drone which costed like $400 that you can buy on
Amazon. Yeah, Timu. Yeah,
gonna do 1 million worth of damage.
exactly.
And your tank gonna be the damage. That's it.
Yeah, you're a tank that cost half of, I don't know how much a tank costs, like 20, 30 million US dollars for a tank, if
Yeah.
that can do it.
I mean, I remember when we had like our like training for like, we had to like, to be qualified as a gunner,
Yeah.
I think we had to shoot like 18 bullets or 20 bullets, like not bullets, but
Artillery shells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The shells.
Yeah.
And each shell was like over like 14 or 15,000 dollars.
How many drones can you confirm with that? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just for the training. I mean, like after like those, you're like a basic gunner. You're not even a good gunner. You
Yeah.
have the paper that you're able to use.
Kind of hit something
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yeah.
Just have it cluster munitions, then I'll hit something.
Yeah. So basically the whole training we calculated it was like $100,000 just
Yeah.
to train the guy.
And it's just, I mean, I guess it's, if you look at it in weapons research and production, in peacetime is completely different than in wartime. Because in wartime, you think of something on Monday and you're already kind of testing on Tuesday.
Yes.
Where you're doing it in peacetime is like, oh, we have this government needs this. We'll have a tender open, and this will happen in a span of years. And then suddenly this company finally wins the tender.
Yeah. In peacetime, the military is preparing for the previous war.
Exactly, which is so
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, because it never worked actually. Like
No, it
every
never,
single time,
it never has.
Yeah.
It never has. I think, I mean, if you look at all these majorly tweaked pieces of equipment, some of the most popular and best ones are the most simple. The A-10, for example, is probably the Air Force's airframe that has seen most action, has done most damage. I mean, and it's simple.
Yes.
It's fucking simple. It's 4 guys from General Electric that were smoking weed and said, we just designed a huge Gatling gun. What do you want to do with it? Let's put it in a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is. And it has, again, like you said, with specific functions. And in the beginning, it was like, oh, it's the tank buster. Well, actually not. It's just basic CAS. It's close air support.
Yes.
And every boy on that ground, he loves that piece of shit flying up there.
Yes.
Yeah, not piece of shit. Sorry about that, A10. It's an amazing platform, and it just works, and everybody loves it. Because when they know that that comes, then we're going to be okay down here.
Yep.
It's just west
As long as they shoot on the right.
Yeah, west of the smoke.
You don't want friendly fire.
Yeah. West of the smoke, west of the smoke. Oh, that's danger close. Oh, copy that. You're cleared hot.
Yes.
Shit, man. So what led you coming? So after your service, where you were just done?
Yeah. I did 7 years. Then I moved to Europe. And when I left, I was like, I didn't plan to return, and I kind of didn't want to return because I knew like if I remained, because there's like the concept of reserve of the reserve, so you can join back or you can be called back. And I was like, if I have this, because I had actually quite good life, and I was like, if I had the chance to return, I'm gonna return. So I wanted to cut the link and not be tempted to return to the good, easy, lazy life of the military, because that's what it was.
You didn't want to try it for JTF?
No, like I never was like so like I remember when I was in the army, and then the guys, like they were finishing the day and then they were going to train more, and then they were like, when they were playing some video games, they were like playing like some like Rainbow Six or like shit like this.
Of course.
I was playing SimCity, So
Such a geek.
Yeah, I never was like so for me it's like I really love what I learn, and I think it's important to learn it. But I never saw myself as a professional soldier. Yeah.
So what was like? What were some of the lessons that you took away from that training that you really think that you're using now, and that you really liked?
The best thing I gained from that is because they basically break, like when they do the boot camp, they break you
and build you up.
And before you break, you're like thinking like, I'm gonna break. And you cannot take it anymore, but then you continue because you're forced to continue. Then you break, and then they keep pushing you, and then you have the real breakdown. And those are basically like points in your life that you're like, okay, like I can push myself to that much, and that's like the red zone, and I can push myself to that point, which gonna like literally break me.
So your limits, per se.
Yeah.
So you found out that you could do more, even though that your mind said to you that not anymore.
Yeah. And the shit talking, that's the best second thing.
Yeah.
Like, when somebody come with like a smart like remark, or somebody coming to scream at you, and you're like,
yeah,
like 2 seconds, and you're like poof on your ass.
And the humor and the what do you call the jargon between soldiers is, I mean, if you want to go to a dark places, you go with soldiers.
Yes.
Police officers and first responders. That is the darkest humor, man. I mean, the shit that they can, especially I've heard that the ones that were in Afghanistan and Iraq that got hurt, and maybe have gotten hurt in a way that they are in a wheelchair or missing limbs. Dude.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, hey, man. And then they're talking. I don't know if you saw Warfare, the movie.
No, not yet.
You'll do it.
Yeah.
But one of the guys who survived it, he was in a wheelchair, and they were talking while he was getting hurt, and it's like, I hope they didn't blow off my dick or something like that. And then one of the guys goes, yeah, because I don't know if we have a microsurgeon at hand. It's like the guy's bleeding out.
Yeah.
and this is the humor. I love it because that it's said with so much love.
Yes.
And they're saying it because what they're doing at that moment is so traumatizing.
Yes.
That they have to pull away from it.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism.
Of course, it's a survival mechanism, and if you don't do that, then everything just breaks down.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to that too. So you done with the army and you traveled around Europe. Were you just being one of those backpacker hippie kids that just wanted to see the world?
I mean, I went to Lithuania. I did my master's degree there.
Okay, in what field?
Political science.
Wow.
So I basically did like Eastern European democratization process. It was like the program was called like Eastern European Studies, but basically was about the post-Soviet democratization process taking place in Eastern Europe.
That sounds like a complete oxymoron. With
Yeah. I mean, like it's why I never got a job in that in that field.
Welcome to democracy. This is a place far up in Kamchatka.
Yeah.
You've never been.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I mean, that's one of the things I've always geeked out. Like I really like politics, and Eastern Europe, of all the places, probably one of the. I think South America and Eastern Europe are the two interesting places to study politics.
Well, that does. I mean, I've also geeked out on a lot of more in the historical conflict areas that involve these politics that led to proxy wars, and the Cold War in itself is a really fascinating subject with so much going on that and so much depth into it, where you have basically you're watching two major sides that just don't believe in the other's politics, and then it just becomes this. Well, then we'll just, and they both know they're never going to have any sort of open conflict on each of their grounds. So then you get all these small little pockets of proxy in South America, where you had Nicaragua, and you've had Cuba, just to name a few. And Africa was a huge hotspot too. Yes. Angola was, when you hear about that, and then you hear about Vietnam, Korea, and it's happening everywhere, you know. Yes. And it's happening today.
Yeah, very much.
And it's going to keep going on.
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse because two political ideologies just don't sit down and look at, okay, what do you have of good stuff and what do I have of good stuff? What do you have of bad stuff and what do I have of bad stuff?
I don't think now, the situation we have now, it's competing ideologies.
No.
Especially in the case of, like, if we look at Russia, for example.
Yeah.
I think it's just competing gangsterism. You know, we have, like, the oligarch on one side competing against the oligarch on the other side.
Of course, yeah. It's always been about money. Maybe not in the beginning.
I don't think it's about control more than money, maybe.
Yeah, control, yeah. And money brings control.
Yes. I mean, money is a tool to control.
Yeah. You don't see any poor people controlling a lot of stuff.
No, but the Republicans are telling us that they are. You know, those goddamn poor people, like, taking everything from Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah.
They want, like, to, like, yeah.
Jeff doesn't give a fuck. He just gets more jacked.
Yes.
It's like, I can still afford testosterone. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. You'd think Bill Gates would jump on that one, but no, he jumped on the pizzas instead, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't get fat, though.
Yeah, he did. Didn't he? Kind of looks like a walrus a bit now.
A bit. I mean, he's getting old. I mean, like, Musk looks fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like an alien.
Well,
like,
as soon as he got into politics, you could see all the age come in, and I think that does that to any person, especially if you're being like.
I mean, Zuckerberg is still fit.
Zuckerberg, but he's a
robot.
Yeah, he's a robot that has a purple belt.
They just like updated the model.
Yeah, exactly. He got some of Elon Musk's stuff.
Yeah.
And he does jujitsu now. And I mean, I think he would have torn Elon Musk apart.
Yes, I kind of like when Musk was going at it, I was like, oh man, just do it. It would have been so fun.
Musk only had one thing right there, is the utilization of weight, because he outweighs what's his name, Zuckerberg, by pretty much.
Yeah.
And you could kind of flatten people out, but Zuckerberg would. I mean, Musk would gas out way before.
Yeah.
Way before.
I think the weight goes. Weight is good if you know how to fight.
Exactly. If not,
yeah.
No,
not gonna work.
And it
like a skinny small Chico, I mean, is way more scary than like a fat fuck.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and a skinny small Chico that can fight. Ooh.
Yeah. He has something to lose.
Oh, exactly.
Like,
those leg kicks.
You know,
are fucking,
if he gets beaten up, I mean, like, it's still like no shame in it. And if he wins, I mean, like, glory to him.
Exactly.
If you're a fat bastard,
know how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do martial arts?
No, I did a bit of boxing a few years ago.
You got tired of getting hit in the head, just like I did?
No, the thing is, like, actually, like, because so in my hometown, like, we used to like do a lot of bar fights.
Oh yeah,
like a lot.
Of course. I
like,
mean, you guys
Canada,
are poor white people.
Yeah. I mean, like, we were going out to bars with mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Like, literally, and it was like, like at the worst, it was like once a week, and it
Shit.
was like pretty hard. Like I remember like once we actually got approached by the Hells Angels, like not by the Hells Angels, but by a guy selling for them, and being like, oh hey, by the way, like I'm the new dealer in that bar. And then we were like, we didn't consume anything. And we're like, yeah, but we don't consume. And he's like, yeah, I know you don't consume, but, I'm the dealer there.
Yeah. He needs a bit of calm.
And then I was like, okay. That's basically we're being told, like, don't fuck with us. I was like, okay, yeah.
Did they hire you then?
No. We got approached once, like, to kind of go and get some money that they were owning.
Yeah.
And that just...
Yeah, being the enforcer role.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I had friends from back then who, many of my friends ended up like revolving around those circles.
Getting patched and everything.
Not patch, because like actually like getting patches, like there's very few. Like I think at the top, at the peak, there was like 70 patch members or like 90 patch members in the whole Quebec.
Wow.
The Sherbrooke chapter I think never had over 15. So you had a lot of people who were like hang around and like, like prospect and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like when you were getting patches, like you were in your 50s and stuff like this.
Of course. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. It's probably the safest way to go if you want to compartmentalize your doings and going-ons, is to keep your inner circle pretty tight.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that in Denmark, which is not going the right way. So with not the right way. I mean, the biker gangs are having a bit of a rough time because they can't seem to recruit the young'uns anymore.
No, I mean, like, because they also,
their values and ideals are so old-fashioned that they don't fit into the modern narrative.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think with crime, I mean, it's a business.
Of course it is.
And I think like the youth, like, like I always forget the name of the groups here, but like the young gangs around here.
Yeah.
They're doing business, and the guys around them, they're doing business, and it's kind of a safer way when like, okay, it's about money, we want to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas like, the biker gangs in Quebec or in Denmark or like all around, it's like they have all this weird code of conduct and all this shit, and it's like, oh yeah, brotherhood, but they all screw each other up also.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's kind of like the premises of it. It's already like faulty.
It is. And the funny thing is that I was talking to some colleagues at work, and I'm part Asian, and my mom has some Chinese in her, and we were talking about the gangs and stuff like. And then we were talking about the bikers. Why would you wear a commercial on you that's kind of showing?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
Right here, look, and you can see it from the front and the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't see the triad wearing that. And then my Danish colleague goes, oh, the triad isn't in Denmark. And then my Chinese colleague just kind of giggles.
Yeah.
It's like, see? A crime organization that is thousands of years old doesn't make a ruckus.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you need if you're having a large criminal organization is attention.
Yes.
So don't wear it on a fucking vest or on a hoodie.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems to completely go against the whole main purpose of the group.
Yeah.
So then you're okay. Let's get back on track. So you're traveling around Europe, and you do your master's in political science.
Yeah, in Lithuania.
And then
moved to Slovakia for 3 years.
Yeah.
Do not much except like hanging around with like the ultras in football over there. Because there's nothing else to do in Bratislava. It's such a
getting more
place.
and more exciting. So when you get to brush up on your boxing skills, I guess.
Yeah, a lot over there. Yeah, also, yeah. Over there, they did like the big, like organized fights.
Oh god, that is insane to watch.
Yeah.
That's like MMA but street rules.
Yeah,
there are a few rules, aren't there? You don't.
I mean, it's in Slovakia. So it depends on the country. Slovakia, the guys are fairly gentlemen, I would say.
Yeah.
So, when you have like those big brawls, I mean, if you fall on the ground, you get kicked once or twice just to be sure, like you don't stand up.
Stay down. Yeah.
And then after that, when it's over, like, like everyone like picking up and then driving the guys to the hospital who need to go to the hospital. And then the rest, it's like, like.
And no weapons. And
no.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you have a favorite mouth guard.
A hockey one.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We didn't even get into the hockey thing.
I never played, but I mean, I just, that's the one that was available in my...
You would have been a great goon, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, my my idol when I was a kid was like Steve Probert,
Yeah.
which was the enforcer for like Detroit, and he was famous because basically like I think I'm not sure how much it's true or like urban legend, but he basically got recruited while being in prison, and because he knew how to skate. And as a kid, I think he was like doing like artistic skating, so probably he got bullied a lot when he was a kid.
Shit.
And the guy was just like, you know, he died like when he was 55 because his brain was like a
CTE.
sponge,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But the guy was like, yeah.
Oh man, but that's why NHL is so fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think hockey is amazing to watch. That's one of the few reasons with UFC that I still have via play, because if I get like a Boston Bruins match, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
And it's just hopefully someone, I mean, and you know when it's some certain teams that it's going down.
Yeah.
And then I remember we had a Danish player who was playing for, I think it was a Canadian team, the Winnipeg, I think. And he scored a goal and he skated past the opposing team's bench, and apparently he didn't know that was a no-no. And then you just saw like the two guys were getting up, and then they sat them down, and two other guys got up. It's like, uh-oh. The enforcers get out there, the goons come out just to teach them a lesson. You don't do that again. And it's just amazing that you have a sport where it's an unwritten rule that the refs are just going to be like, okay, as soon as one knee gets down, then we stop it, but we let them go at it for a bit. And you have these fights that two goons just go at it and they're not going down, and the refs are like, what do we do?
Yeah, but it's actually like, you know, like I used to love it, but you know, because they kind of try to stop it or to reduce it.
Doesn't help.
But to be honest, I kind of get it, because like all the enforcers, they're all dying in their 50s. I mean, it's more damaging than like boxing, because boxing, you know, the guys, they do like one big fight a year.
Yeah.
You know, 2 a year. That's like, you know, that's already a lot. I mean, those guys, they play 84 games a year.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fight a game. Like back in the days, it was a fight. So 84 fights, and they don't, you know, they hold each other by the jersey and then just punch each other in the head.
And on the helmet too.
Yes,
Don't they break their hands?
Well, yeah, why not?
But they still keep going. I mean, those guys, hockey players take such a beating, not just by that, but by nasty checks.
Yeah.
I've seen some checks where it's like, how is that man alive? Let alone getting up and just going, ooh, that's a rough one. Let's keep going.
Spitting their teeth out.
Spitting the teeth out to the coach, and like, okay, put me back in, coach, and he's got blood running down. You have a football player that gets stepped on his little toe, a soccer player for those people out there, and he's like, I can't play anymore. My life is over. And the hockey guy's like, get up again. And you can just picture some guy with an Alberta accent just talking shit to that poor soccer player. That's what those are the sounds your mom was making, eh? Fuck you, Shorzy.
I actually was watching it yesterday.
Oh, Shorzy, he is a absolute gem.
I watched it because everyone told me I have to watch it. I didn't especially like it.
No.
Because it's just too...
It's
not funny. No, it's because it's true. It's how it is. I mean, there's nothing funny in it. I'm just watching it and I'm like, yeah, man, I've known those guys. And and all the humor they try to do, you know, they repeat the joke like, you know, 4 or 5 times, which it's the style, so I get it. But the characters themselves, I'm like, they're
exactly that way.
Yeah.
That guy Jared Kelso, he just wanted to portray the people he grew up with, and he did it so well that kind of Canadians, some of them are saying, yeah, but we're not really that proud of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's really an area that just make us syrup, a maple syrup and bacon, and we'll be fine. Just leave it at that.
Because people think of Canada, you know, they think of Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, but that's basically like the only 3 cities we have.
Yeah.
And the rest of the people live like Shorzy.
Yeah, exactly.
that's their daily life.
Yeah.
They live with people like him, and that's their coworker, and that's like, you know, like the mailman is a Shorzy. I mean, like that's how it is.
Yeah, or just dumbass farm people.
Yeah.
And then the skids. I mean, the whole meth thing. Oh God. I mean, gee, it's one of those. It's kind of like an anthropological insight on like. It's kind of like the Trailer Park Boys, but just in Canada. And I mean, and the reason why they have to repeat the joke 4 times is because everybody else will pick it up the 4th time because it's so quick. And it's like you're saying that the being able to respond that fast to something, you just whip back with something.
Yeah.
That's something that you learn from being in like those areas or the military.
Yeah.
That you got to be quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love it. So after beating the shit out of people and getting the shit beat out of you, what was it? Did you get your shit kicked out of you, or was it more the other way?
No, I was actually like, the thing is like, I don't look the part. Like I don't look it, and I kind of, when I moved there, I kind of started hanging around with those guys randomly, and I was a bit like their mascot. They were like, oh, we have we have a foreigner, so I was the exotic boy over there.
Oh God, French Canadian.
Yeah,
being
and I
exotic.
was like hanging around with like the top boys and everything. So like I could see like the younger lads, they were looking at me like, okay, like who the hell is that?
Yeah.
That guy. So I was like always telling them like, hey, if there's a big fight, bring me on, because
You can handle yourself.
I can handle myself, and I don't want people to think like, I'm just like a tourist or whatever. So they brought me there to like one of the big one, and they didn't tell me that they were bringing me actually, because everybody thought that somebody told me. So we were going to a game, and we were always driving in cars, and like while on the car ride, we were like drinking beers, and like no one was really drinking. And like no one was really chatting. I was in a good mood because like, Saturday we're going to a game. It's like, 1:00 in the afternoon. It's nice weather outside. And we passed by the stadium where we're supposed to go. And I'm like, isn't it the stadium we're supposed to go? And then all the guys kind of like turn around to me, and they're like, start speaking in Slovak.
Did you tell?
And
No,
then
did
like,
you?
and they're like, but we're going. I'm like, to the game? And then they like again like exchange those confused looks. It's like, nobody told you? I'm like, no. Well, we're going to fight like the fans of like Nitra and Prague, Sparta Prague.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I was like, when? They're like, well, now. And I'm like in super good mood. I'm like, okay, like, and I'm immediately thinking like, I need to look at least decent. I need to hold myself, and then like I just start drinking and trying like to go like in the dark place in your head, like so like when I get out of the car, like I'm really pumped up,
Yeah.
And we start driving in the potato field.
Oh God.
And we arrive, and there's a lot of people, like we're 60 people, and they're like 200 meters like down the potato field, and they look like a big group, and like as soon as the car stopped, I just like, I'm so like hamp up. I open the car and I start screaming in French Canadian, like, like fuck you, like just like starting screaming just to be like really like into it. And one of the guys from my crew just like hit me on the shoulder. He's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, what? And then like there was like this caucuses of the guys, and then like some of the guys point at me and they're like, look at him. He wants to go and you don't want to go? And then I'm like, what's going on? And they say, oh, they cheated because they're 90 and we're only 60, and we agreed it would be 60 against 60.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, okay, like they're way more than us.
There are rules too.
Yeah. So like we agreed, like, we're going to be 60, you're going to be 60. So it's a fair thing. And the guys, because our outfit was like known as the strongest. So like the guys kind of invited like the fans from Prague, which was not known. So they kind of like caught us off guard.
Yeah.
And like some of our guys were saying like, no, then there's no dishonor if we like don't engage.
Okay.
And then there was the guys who wanted to engage, but they're like, well, I mean, that's a big one, let's do it. And then because I was there, and I just kind of started, like nobody could back up, because they said like, look, even the tourist wants in. So like they're like, oh fuck, like they're like all like looking at me like, stupid fucker.
Yeah,
and
you kind of blew.
Those who didn't want to go, like I kind of blew their cover. And then I go between my friends. All my friends are like, like 3 heads bigger than me. Like, we start walking like in line formation and like getting closer and closer. And then I realized like the guys on the other side are as big as my friends. Like they're all like giants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy Christ. So like I just start keep walking straight, but towards the right, because I can see like the size of the guys kind of go descending.
Yeah.
So like at some point I'm like, okay, like those guys are like
I can take him
on my size, it's my category. And then like like just like within like 10 meters, like people run and everything, and I just got super lucky. Like I jumped, and the first guy hit, fell straight. Second guy hit, also like knee on the ground, and then I got jumped by like 4 or 5 people, and then I stood up again. So like when the fight was over, like I was covered like in dirt and blood, and I was like laughing. I was super happy because I was like, woo, we made it. And we kind of course lost the fight, but everyone was like, okay, like he kind of liked it, and he kind of like, was laughing around and everything. And then from that day, they were like, okay, like he looked like he could do like work in a clothes store.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're a sleeper.
Yeah. But I could handle myself. So yeah.
So, but what about like I remember, I mean, bare knuckle fighting and fighting with gloves is a completely different animal.
Yeah.
So, what precautions? I mean, are your hands wrapped with this, or are you
No,
just bare?
I mean, some of the guys did wrap their hand.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You never broke or sprained or got injured?
I did, like, my knuckles are kind of like on the right hand, they're like all screwed up. But no. Gloves, I really hate gloves. It just
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was basically just keeping the technique and just timing your shots correctly, so
Yeah.
you don't like walk into a shot on the forehead of somebody and then end up busting up.
Well, it can happen, right?
Of course, yeah.
Especially like, because if you kind of, usually when you hit somebody, like, the person gonna kind of back up, but if they go forwards, then that's where
you're gonna get the impact. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's those things. I mean, it happened, but I've been fairly lucky, I think. It's not that I'm good. It's more like luck, like stupid luck.
Luck has always something to do with it. You can be the greatest fighter in the world, but you get tapped. It's one of those things where, I mean...
or you get just a bad hit and then you fall.
Exactly. Yeah, especially in one of those kind of unsanctioned fights.
Yep.
I mean, just look at sanctioned fights where that unlucky... You just weaved when you should have bobbed, and then you catch it right on the chin, and it's lights out.
Yep.
Shit, man. Well, that is an exciting time.
Yeah, but that was the only good time. Only good thing over there.
Okay.
Yeah, Slovakia is not fun.
So yeah, I could picture that. So how'd you end up in Denmark then?
So I left Slovakia like in 2010. I mean, like, Slovakia was still reeling from the 2008 crisis, so like there was no job, no money, and I was like, okay, like I need to move out and make some money. So I came to Denmark because I had a friend living here, and I was thinking I would be here for like 6 months, make some money, go back, and then 6 months become a year become 2. Then, like after 4 years opening my first bar, then, a few years later opening the second bar, like buying the second bar, and then, you're like, wow, okay, I'm living here for 15 years.
And you have a Canadian passport?
Yeah, and Polish.
And Polish. So that kind of helps being in Denmark?
The Polish passport is...
The Canadian at one point, isn't there some sort of a friendly agreement on that?
Well, yeah, but not for... Because, I mean, like, if I will want to work but not as a bartender, or like not as a business owner, yes, now I probably could. But back then, the first bar we bought was like a tiny place, like 36 square meters. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really the Polish passport who made it possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a Canadian Army dude that goes to Eastern Bloc to study Eastern political science, then go to Slovakia to join... the ultras and fight on the street, and then come to Denmark and open bars. In potato fields, and actually become a pretty well-renowned fighter for one of the teams, and then comes to Denmark and starts opening bars. Jesus Christ, man! You need to write an autobiography at one point, because this is and we haven't even got to we're getting into some juicier stuff too.
Yeah. That's just a boring introduction.
Oh, if that's the boring introduction, I mean, if this is the hors d'oeuvres and the starters, the main course is going to be what's that, dragon meat with unicorn wings on the side? Okay, so you're here in Denmark. You start opening bars. I've frequented your places before, and then. What happens with the whole Ukraine thing? What's going through your head at this point? Is this back in 2016, or is this...
It's back in 2004.
Back when...
So they had the Orange Revolution in 2004.
Yeah.
At that time, I was doing my studies, and I went to see what was going on by myself. And that's when I kind of took interest in Ukraine. So I kept kind of going back and forth. So then when they had the Maidan protest in 2014, I went there, but I arrived late. So I arrived 3 days after Yanukovych the president flew away from the country.
Okay.
But when I arrived, I mean, there was still like literally like blood on the street. Sure. And like you could find like bullets and everything, and like, buildings like still like smoking from the
Yeah.
fires and everything.
And this is when Zelensky took power, right?
No, that was when Yanukovych flew, and then there was like Jesus, what was the name of the president? Poroshenko.
Yeah,
took over.
Poroshenko.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and there was like some intermediary politicians in between, but yeah, it was basically like after Poroshenko became president.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And then you visit there, and then you come back to
Denmark, yeah.
Denmark. And then when did you decide to leave for Ukraine then?
So when the war started, so I was going there like, on 3 times a year or something like this. At some point I was like dating a girl there. So we like, at that point I was going like once a month. And many of my friends were Ukrainian. So like I always had like, people either coming or going there. And then when the war started in February 2022, at that point I was like, okay, I remember my ex-girlfriend writing to me like the week before the war started, and she was saying like, hey, things look pretty bad, like what do you think gonna happen?
Can I come up to you?
No, she was asking what I thought, like will something gonna happen, because like everyone's talking like, no, now it's gonna happen. And I said to her, nah, nothing. Like at best or at worst, like they're gonna drive into Donbass, maybe take a bit of territory there, like a bit of like skirmish.
Yeah.
And they're just putting pressure to
keep the Crimean area.
Exactly, something like this.
Yeah.
And that's the worst case scenario. There's no way anything more than that gonna happen. That's the Americans who are like flipping out, and like God knows why, but that's basically what's happening. And then like a week later, like the war start, and then I'm like,
I was wrong.
Yeah, and she was telling me like on the phone, she was like, oh, I'm so happy, like, like I talked to you because I was thinking to leave the city.
Jesus
And
Christ.
then like, you open, like in the morning, you wake up and you're like, fuck.
Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't, it took a while before I wrote back to her. I was like, like the first day, like, are you okay? But I was like, yeah. And then I didn't think to go there until a friend of mine wrote to me, he's like, so when are you going? And then I was like, I didn't think to go there. But then like it kind of the rest of the day I was like, well, but why am I not going there? And then I was like, yeah, fuck it. I just like, and then I saw like some, the unit I ended up joining, they were like putting like some call for recruitment. So I just reached out to them, and then I was there in March.
Okay.
So like 3 weeks into the war.
How was it getting down there, and how did you hook up with the unit and stuff like that?
So my unit is kind of interesting. Like they were like they call like the resistance committee, or like they're also known as the anti-authoritarian platoon. They basically were a group of anarchists, leftists, punks, left-wing hooligans, alternative people who kind of got together under one unit. And half the unit was Ukrainian, the other half were foreigners.
Okay.
So they were like looking to hire people, like to recruit people who were from the similar background.
Yeah.
So I just reached out to them, and I was like, okay, I have like this military experience. I know Kiev quite well, and at that point, like we were talking about like, okay, they're gonna be like street to street fighting in Kiev.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'd like to join. And, there was a big back and forth, and but nothing really concrete. And then I wrote to them one day, it's like, well, I'm coming next week, and like if you don't want to get, I'm coming either way. So either like I join with you, or I'm going to the foreign legion.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not be with a bunch of like American cowboys who want to like save the world or something like this. And then immediately, like within 5 minutes, okay, like we're gonna pick you up at in Poland. So like we had like a safe house over there. So we arrived there, and then we were there for like 2-3 days, and then we entered the country.
Yeah, probably by bus or something like that.
By car.
By car.
Yep.
Okay. And so, so what was that like when you got to your base there? Well, and did you have to go through some vetting or to see how you were trained, or what they can use you for?
Yeah, so the vetting kind of happened a bit before, but the main of it was on the base, which was an old school. And then they were asking us, okay, like which weapon you're proficient with, like how long you spent in the army, what kind of regiment you were part of, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. and basically that's it.
Okay.
My unit was, I mean, we were like at that point we were like a territorial defense unit, so those were basically like the closest you can be to a militia. So like we basically had like very, very old AK-74, like some of them actually were AK-47, like from 60s and stuff like this.
Shit.
Yeah. We had a machine gun from World War II.
Oh shit! One of the old the MG43 or something like that. Oh, Hitler's buzzsaw.
No, it was but it was the Soviet war. It was a Soviet one. I forgot the name, but like one of them. But we had 5 bullets of it, and then the mechanism was broken, and we cannot even use it.
It's just a relic.
Yeah. It was an antique, basically. So that's the kind of weapon we had when I arrived there.
So you didn't get to play along on any M4 platforms or anything like that?
No. So like we arrived there, and then like I mean, it's like a ragtag militia, like used. We were like south of Kiev, and at that point, like the Russians were still trying to encircle it, and the city we were in, we were like it's called like Obukiv, and we were kind of, we knew like if they were coming to us, like if we would see Russian in our sector, like Kiev had fallen because we were like the last
line of defense.
Kind of last line. I would say last line. I'm not sure there was much defense because when I arrived there, it's like literally like if there's Russians unit coming, the first thing we should prepare for is not like resisting against them, but like finding a way to fall back and then engage in partisan activity because there was no way like we had the weapon to kind of do like unit on unit or like conventional warfare. Exactly. We had to engage like in partisan kind of warfare.
Yeah, unconventional warfare. Yeah. So there were like a lot of foreigners with you there?
So the unit was around 60 people. 30 of them, or like 25 of them, were foreigners, but most of them were Russian and Belarusian.
Okay.
Westerners, there was one Canadian girl, one British guy, one Spanish guy, and one American. So like like less than 6 like Westerners.
And all previous military backgrounds?
Most of them were trained with the YPG. The Kurds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like none of them.
The Peshmergas?
Yeah. None of them. No. The YPG. Peshmerga. I mean, some of them had training with Peshmerga, but most of them were like with the shit. What's the name? It's this on the left. The Peshmerga. At least when they were talking to me, they said like the Peshmerga is a bit more like the official or like more like mainstream, and then they had like the most like alternative units.
Okay.
And that's what they were most of them were part of.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the funny thing is like I was the one of the few with like a proper military training. And then when I say proper, like I should put like the...
Yeah. Oh, 7 years, you should have learned something.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still like, it's 7-year reserve. I mean, it's not like, not deployed and training as an armor, which is outdated. So, and I left in 2007. We're talking it's to 2022. So there's a huge gap. I'm not like...
But you still, your way around small arms.
Yeah.
You don't flinch when you pull the trigger.
Yes, but that's basically it. Like it's like I'm not good. I'm, I know.
Proficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I found at that point that I'm the only one who know anything because we had an officer who's busy with paperwork, and there's another guy who had like some military experience. And that was basically it. The rest were like proper military training, were guys who were like fighting against ISIS or like against the Turkish government.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, but then that was the thing. Like I kind of got up with some of the guys who were like more trained into like on the ground fighting, and then mixing it with like I still remember how to do like proper training program because I was an instructor for like almost 3 years in the Canadian Army. So like we kind of were able to train our unit.
Yeah.
To at least be basic training, I would say.
Yeah. Like a basic grunt.
Yeah.
If you will, yeah. So did you bring any gear along, or were you?
Yeah, so I brought I was pretty well geared up. I had the helmet, I had a vest, I had some of the gear. So I had like some Danish friends who were in the military who kind of gave me a lot of gear.
Oh, yeah.
But then while I was there, like our unit started receiving a lot of like bulletproof vest and
the plate carriers and stuff like that. Yeah. So. Any preferences there?
Not. I mean, like the lighter is the better.
Exactly.
actually some of the guys who had way more experience, like fighting against ISIS, most of them didn't want to carry any carrier because they said like, I'd rather be not hit, like being fast enough and not being hit, than being like slow down and then be hit.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. So.
And the AK-47, and the 74, how were they to work with?
It's kind of like, because they were not in good condition, so
do a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, like not the cleaning. I mean, like the cannon is like literally like.
Oh Jesus, the barrel is crooked.
Yeah. It's like, man, if it's cleaning, that's fine. I mean, cleaning is a luxury problem. I mean,
exactly.
Like, I mean, some of them, like, we were like going on a shooting range, like you couldn't hit anything.
Oh God.
Like, really bad.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and like none of us was like proficient enough to, to try to make it less worse. So
yeah, to kind of bend it to use heating or something like that. Oh God. And I was thinking that you guys were when you fought against the Prague team, and maybe that you were lucky enough to get a hold of some CZ equipment or stuff.
No, but the funny thing is, like, because I reached out to the guys in Slovakia, like, if anyone was interested to join in, and because I went to like in 2014, I went to Slovakia before the war started and asked the guy, like, hey, anyone want to go like see the Maidan revolution? And all of them were like saying like, but Mike, are you crazy? Like, I mean, this is crazy. And I'm like, come on, I mean, guys, like, we've seen crazy stuff. And they were like, I ain't going there. And I was like, so no, like the guys were like, all knew I went there, but like none of them was like, yeah, we like, they're like,
I guess it's a bit of a jump. I mean, it's people shooting at you.
Yeah.
And basically, after I looked at the numbers last time, that's only 6% of the casualties. Yeah. The rest is the drones and the arty.
Yeah,
and the
artillery. Yeah. That's like very few people like died nice death over there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and those when you hear like a drone go buzzing by, it kind of gives you a bit of a not a great feeling.
Yeah.
No. Oh. So, what was like the most challenging part of adapting to the military in like in a war zone from coming from daily life?
It was kind of nice. Like I always a bit uncomfortable, but you kind of like you arrive there and then you're like, well, okay, I mean, like, if we die, we die. Like, it's not that you're brave, but you're like, it's out of my control. And at least for me, it was like, okay, that's how it is, and that's what we do, that's where we go. So no, it wasn't that bad. And I mean, to be honest, also like the unit, the time I was there, we didn't get into like any like direct conflict or anything. So the first night, that was like the funny thing, like like we went to like our like section, and then like getting introduced to the guys because we arrived late at night, and like quick introduce like hello, going in the sleeping bag, and then like started sleeping, and then you hear like the siren going on, like this like anti-air, and then like I wake up and I'm like, should we go to the bunker or something? And then when the guy's like, hey, there's no bunker, and I'm like, gosh. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we die in our sleep. And then they're like, yep. I fell asleep immediately. Well, like no problem. I was like, yeah, okay, if that's how we go, that's how we go.
You might as well get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. It's exactly. Like it's not gonna change if not sleeping and not gonna make it any better. So
So what was, when you woke up that day, did you kind of feel different after going to sleep with that knowledge?
No, the crazy thing is like everything get normalized. Like I think the human mindset is very good at normalizing things very quickly.
If you're strong enough to do so.
I think even like, I was talking with my ex, like the Ukrainian girl I was dating at that time. I was not dating her anymore, but like when I arrived, the one I told to stay in Kiev because nothing gonna happen. So like calling her as soon as I arrived, I was like, oh, like in Abukiv and everything, and we're calling every day. And the first like 2-3 days, like she was crying on the phone, like, oh my god, like like this building got hit and everything. And on the third day, like calling, oh, how was the day? It's like, oh, I was late like 3 hours at work because there was like a street which got blown up by something.
It just became her daily routine.
Yeah, and then like I'm like, oh, but that's good. Then you could have a break. She's like, yeah, actually it was nice. I went for ice cream and everything. I'm gonna show you next time when you're in Kiev. And then we were laughing. We're like, yeah, very quick, very very quick. 3 days, like that's a civilian. That's a girl who's like very girly and like
Never seen any atrocities of that sort.
And never minded for that, like not expecting it also when it happened. And like within 3 days was like,
I guess
it's very surreal.
I still think it's mindset. You have to be able to, I mean, we've all seen the movies where there's that one dude that just cannot, that just freezes up and just cannot.
I think a lot of people might go through that phase, and then might last shorter or longer for some people, but it doesn't really matter, it just like the brain gonna be like, okay, like I'm not dead yet or I'm not injured yet, so like you kind of gonna snap out of it and then go back to the normal thing.
I guess it's also about being able to rely on muscle memory a lot, maybe.
I wouldn't even say so. I mean, I really think, I mean, like you look at kids, in a war zone who are like, like they're playing around in the street.
Yeah.
They hear the bombing. They just go like in the basement, and they came out like 5 minutes after, and they're like,
it's like rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I for sure like people maybe who have like a bit more training but I'm kind of like cautious even with people who's like, oh yeah, I've seen a lot and everything. It's like people who are like really badass and then they go get a vaccine or tattoo and they faint. It's
yeah. Okay, I see where you're going. Tattoos hurt, by the way.
Yeah. I'm sure they do. I don't have any, so
which is strange.
Yeah.
Well, that makes you just the more mysterious, I guess. So you're saying that humor and dark humor especially was that a way of keeping spirits up?
Yeah, I mean, like I was a bit shocked because actually I was able to. My dark sense of humor was too dark for them.
Shit.
So
that's why we are friends.
Yeah. So I was like, like there was one day like the village captured like a Russian saboteur.
Okay.
And like a older guy, and he was basically like breaking like the communication system for the mobile phones and stuff. And we had information that probably his brother was a paratrooper in Russia. So pretty sure, okay, this guy is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he's brought to our unit, and we don't have a cell, we don't have anything to keep in it. We're in an old school, so like we don't know where to keep him. And then there's this discussion, okay, like we have to be on duty, guard him, and then I'm chipping in. It's like, yeah, we need to be 2 guys, like not only 1 guy, but 2 guys should watch him. And then like the guys are like, no, but we already have the patrol and all this stuff, and then we go on duties. I'm like, no, man. I mean, like it should be 2 guys.
Of course. Like
watching him at night, you don't know, like he modifies sleep, and you don't know the guy's maybe like he's in his late 50s, but you don't know, maybe he's a goddamn James Bond,
Exactly.
I don't want to wake up like like with a grenade like going off like in the first floor or something like this,
or a slit throat.
Yeah. So and then like, but I said like, yeah, 2 guys obviously, and then the guys are like, no, and then they're like, yeah, if we tie him up, and like if you tie him up like safe enough, you're probably gonna like have to amputate his hand in the morning because there's not gonna be blood circulation, because like handcuffs and stuff like this, it's made for like a short period of time. You cannot keep somebody handcuffed for a long time, which we didn't have handcuffs, so it was like with tie wraps and stuff like this.
Oh God, no.
So
yeah.
And then I'm like, guys, if we have a carpet, we can roll him in the carpet. I mean, that's maybe a safe way, but like it should be 2, And then the guys are like, but why 2? And then I'm like, okay, they didn't get why, because I didn't explain. I was like, it's obvious why it should be 2. And then I'm like, well, obviously somebody has to hold him while the other one is just going at him. And then they're stopping, all of them like just kind of like dark face. They're like, go to your room.
And you're like, I got out of that duty.
Yeah. Yay. I never got put on duty. Check this guy. And then I'm going back to the room, and I'm going to my section, and like most of the guys by that point knew my sense of humor. So I think it's maybe like it kind of came out of the blue for them, and I'm just telling them like, okay, I kind of made this joke, and I think it didn't fly, and they're laughing, but at the same time they're like, yeah, well,
You're known as the prisoner fucker.
Yeah. And then like the next day, one of the guy, he became my really good friend, but at that point he didn't like me. I didn't really like him either. Russian anarchist, and he come and he's like, hey, can we talk? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, so I heard you have bars in Denmark. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and I heard like, the left-wing oriented bars. I'm like, yeah. I mean, like 2 of them are like clearly left-wing. Do you make this kind of jokes in your bar? And then I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I do. And then he's like, but this is Denmark. You don't get canceled. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a safe place for stupid people. Like
Exactly, yeah.
And then he's like, okay. And he was like, okay, fair enough.
And then you guys became...
No, we became friends when we were in the room. He didn't know I was in the sleeping bag sleeping, and he was thinking he's alone in the room. And then he just and the guy was he was this intellectual, and he let the loudest fart ever.
Yes.
And then I poke my head out, and I'm like, when couples are known to be like very strong and like very like in a good position, it's like when they're comfortable to fart.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then like at that point, like we became like really good friends. So yeah.
So yeah, and that just proves the point that humor is such a way to distance what's going on in outside of atrocities and conflict. You know. So what about, were there any interactions with civilians or soldiers that left a positive or negative impact on you? Like
I mean,
a beautiful situation maybe.
The crazy thing I had was when we did a run to Chernobyl.
Jesus.
So
Do you have 2 penises now?
3.
Oh.
I had 2 when I was born with.
Oh.
But the thing is, so we're driving, and it's basically like a 2-way mission. So it's driving into Chernobyl to observe the trench the Russian had, which they abandoned like a few days before, and just to check if we could find any information, and to bring medication to because actually there's people living in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And bring medication to people and everything. And so first we're driving, and it's like we're driving there. The roads are like bombed out. There's like blown up tanks like all the way. You're driving, and it's like every like 150 meter, 200 meters, there's a tank by the road which is burned up. There's mines when we stop to pee. There's like, those big like ass like anti-tank mines. Like, you're literally standing and peeing next to it or on it.
Yeah.
And then we arrive in the village, and at that point I'm in there for 2 months already. And like surprisingly, my unit was 100% dry. Like we didn't touch any alcohol the whole time I was there, and I like drinking. I love drinking. And when they said like, "Yeah, we're a dry unit," I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "That might be the challenge I'm gonna have," because I've been drinking like on a weekly basis.
Fuck
like,
survival.
Since I'm 16. But actually, it didn't bother me. Like I was there for like the whole time. After like, actually, when I came back, it took me a while before like I enjoyed drinking again, because I was like,
bet you got jacked.
I got super jacked when I was there. I had the 6-pack and everything was surreal. Like I was like taking pictures. I was like, wow. I was super white because it was like we were always inside or like fully dressed. So I was like pastry white, but like I had the 6-pack. I was like, oh. But anyway, so we're driving there, and then like, first of all, like we stop by a place and the guys are coming out with cans, and I'm like, ooh, we can have a beer. And then it's like energy drink. I'm like, and then we're driving, and like some old people, they stop us, and we're actually the first Ukrainian they've seen since the war started. Okay. So, and this is like Chernobyl, so like there's no radio going there. They don't have internet, so they don't. It's how the war must have been like before, like the First World War kind of thing. Like when people are asking the news, like, oh, where's the front? What's happening? And like, oh, are we winning, losing? Because the Russians said that the government already surrendered and everything. So like they have no clue what's happening.
They have no clue. Oh, that must have been so weird.
Yeah. And then like the guys are like, oh, okay, so but we were told by the Russians that like Zelensky flew away or Zelensky is dead and like this kind of things. And we're just giving the news, and then like some of the guys like, oh, I have like some moonshine homemade from Chernobyl, right? And then he's saying that, and then like the guys all knew I had a bar, and they're like, "Oh, Mike, should we go get some moonshine?" I'm like,
"Yes, please."
Yeah. We didn't go. Like, they were like, "Seriously, you're gonna drink that?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna drink that." But anyhow, so we drive and we bring the stuff, and at some point, like our LT like gets out of the vehicle, and this guy was super nice, the nicest guy, like this, like very polite with everyone, very talkative, very friendly.
Hearts and minds. Hearts and minds.
Hearts and minds, but like generally like this, like like a bit too much even. Like if somebody's annoying, he's not gonna interrupt him to stop him. And he just talked, and then this old lady come, and she just like say like, I know you. And then the guy's like, no, well, I mean like I don't think you know me. And she's like, no, I know you. I've seen you. And then he's like, yeah. And then like the guys in the vehicle were all like rolling our eyes. Oh God, I mean, like just stuff it out. And then she's like, do you have an uncle called, and I don't remember the name, like, Michel or something like this. Michel. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, he used to live in Chernobyl, right? And then he's like, yeah, I went to school with him. You look just like him.
Whoa.
And then he's like taking pictures, like, yeah. And then turned out that this random woman, like in the Chernobyl area, kind of went with his uncle.
Wow.
And they did look the same. Actually, when he showed pictures, we're like, okay, like at that age.
Spitting image, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what about leaving off of that? Did you experience any moments of like unexpected beauty or humor or something that kind of made you smile?
Like there was like the thing is like the whole country was in a blackout. Yeah. Like at nights, like all the lights. So like the sky was just
insane.
Yeah, it's like in the movies, and it sounds super cheesy, but when you see it, you're like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
And I was on duty, like guard night outside, and just like kind of watching the sky. Probably, which if they were Russian, would have been there, they would have slit my throat. But anyhow, just enjoying the sky, and there's like falling star.
Shooting star.
Yeah.
Or asteroids.
Yeah, shooting stars like pass, and I'm like, whoa, never seen in my life. A second one and a third one. I'm like, Jesus, this is beautiful. And then the guy who come to replace me is like, we chat, and I'm like, oh man, there's shooting stars. And then he's like, when you see a shooting star in a war zone, there's only one wish you can do, that it is a shooting star.
Yeah, exactly. That's a fucking tracer, dude.
Yes, exactly.
well, I mean, look there. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you didn't get like any there were no nasty combat situations.
No. Like so the closest was basically when I was in Chernobyl. I know the closest Russian unit was a half an hour drive from us.
Okay.
But yeah, like we could hear like every night like artillery falling, but it was not really in our sector. The thing is like and that's how people died, because you never know when it's gonna hit you, and then when it hit you, it's kind of too late.
It's done, yeah.
But it didn't happen while I was there. So yeah.
There wasn't a lot of important infrastructure where you guys were?
Well, the thing is, because the Russian, like when we got positioned like in Obukiv, they just kind of dispatched the troops by experience and the weaponry and everything. And they kind of didn't expect the Russians to come from the south, and turned out they didn't come from the south. They came mostly from the north, and then from the east, yeah. So like our sector was a quiet sector, and we were like looking to get relocated like into like a more hot zone, especially when the Russians started like
advancing,
retreating.
Oh, retreating, yes.
Because then we knew like, okay, like we haven't had any contact, and we're not gonna get any contact. And most of the guys were there. They were there to kind of engage.
Yeah, get some.
Yeah. But then like, because our unit was kind of seen as problematic because we were like a left-wing unit. So at the beginning, when the situation was really bad, like, when the war started, they were giving weapons to everyone.
Yeah.
And as soon as the situation kind of stabilized, they were like, well, we don't want those, extremist, anti-regime kind of people to have like weapon and training. So they were really trying to split us up like in different units, split the Ukrainians out from us because we were seen as agitators and everything. And then they were trying to form a new unit, which will do like sabotage, a bit like, you have like the Russians who are fighting with the Ukrainian, this liberation or freedom for Russia Legion.
Yeah.
So they were trying to form this kind of unit with like a anarchist thing to it. Then kind of, it kind of went nowhere. And after 3 months, I was like, okay, like now I know, like, because they started making us dig trenches to keep us busy. And I actually understand, like, I knew where it was coming from. It's like, there's nothing more dangerous than a bored soldier.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And those bored soldiers, like a third of them are like former hooligan, a third of them are like hardcore anarchists, and the other third of them are just like kind of a bit antisocial people. You're like, you have to keep the guys busy.
Yeah, and of course, makes sense.
Yeah. So
you guys wouldn't play well with the Azov boys, would
no,
you?
No. So that was also the big discussion with us, like that we had like always like, okay, like what would happen if we're put with Azov? Like we understand what they're doing and everything, but we not gonna trust them. Like,
Yeah, you don't align with them at all.
We don't want to get shot in the back by,
and they don't want to get shot in the back by you guys.
Yeah, also, yeah. So that was the thing. So we were seen as a bit this outcast unit.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, actually, like in the last few weeks, I've seen like the unit is being reactivated, which is not a good sign. That means actually things in Ukraine are really bad.
Yeah.
Because that basically means the Ministry of Interior is kind of being like, we need all the help we can.
All hands on deck. Yeah.
We like, if like the anarchists want to fight in, we're gonna give them the weapons and like we're gonna let them have their operation.
So you're gonna go back then?
No, I mean, like most of the guys I knew who were there, they're dead now.
Shit. Because they got relocated to other units?
Yeah, I mean, like, so the Ukrainians unit, they kind of got, so there was like this Arsenal Kiev, which was like a group of like hooligans, a left-wing hooligan, but not very political. Like it's mostly like punks.
Yeah.
But they were very good, actually very good soldiers. And they got deployed in really heavy stuff. So like they had their first casualty actually like last month. And then like some of like the guy I was talking about, the guy in Chernobyl, that he met the woman with the uncle.
The nice guy.
Yeah, the nice guy. He got shot 6 months after I left in their first engagement.
Jesus.
Bullet in the stomach. And then the guy I knew, like the farting anarchist, he died like mortar fire while being in the
trench.
Yeah. So now, I mean, like the unit is also like it kind of has lost its purpose, and now it's so clearly a tool of the intelligence.
Of course.
Which, that's how it is. I mean, like, let's be honest, like it's not extremely surprising, but it's a bit too much. Whereas at the beginning, we kind of knew that if the situation goes our way, we might be able to have some kind of freedom in our political perspective and everything. But now when they're reforming it, like, I actually had to go through like a vetting by the intelligence. So we had to go through like a lie detector, and this kind of stuff. So we were being vetted already, but we were like, okay, like we're gonna just be like the mince meat or like being sent
Yeah, and Ukraine doesn't really have the numbers to do that.
Well, they're doing it a lot. There's a lot of sabotage. I mean, like they were really, really eager to use the Russian troops, the Russian volunteers, to kind of go back to Russia and perform operation behind enemy line, because they don't have the numbers, but with this small number of people, if you have a guy, 2, 3, you have a group of 4 guys who are like properly trained, who are from Russia. If they go back there with like the right gear, they can do a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. But Ukraine doesn't have the numbers to do the meat grinder. To just send waves and waves. Yeah. So it'd be more like doing isn't it the Estonian units that have the porcupine, where they say that every little prick counts. Or I think they use that because they know they don't have the numbers against like Russia, so it's unconventional and it's prick, and then fuck off.
I don't know about it could be, but I mean it's the logical thing.
Of course, small unit tactics. Yeah. So could you use any of your recon training for?
I mean, because the thing is, the training I gave to the guys, despite being outdated, it kind of paid off, because I was a tankist. That's what I was trained in. And at that point, the Russians were sending ton and ton of tanks.
Oh, the T-60?
Yeah, it was T-34 over there.
Oh my
also,
God, that's like Second World War crap.
There was everything, like T-72, T-90. And the thing is, I can explain how the guy in the crew tank are thinking. How to, like, if you have to engage a tank, like, what's the way to engage them? Because I exactly know what the guys are thinking, where's the weak points and everything. And because it's kind of counter-intuitive, the way to engage like a non-modern tank. You basically have to let them approach as close as then you engage them because they're blind.
Of course,
they're big blind beasts, and you can basically walk by them. I mean, you see it also like happening like in Palestine, like where like the guys are getting out from a house and they're just putting like explosive on the tank, and then they're just like bugging off before like they're being even seen. So it's basically the same thing that you have to do, but it's so counterintuitive because people want to engage, like the infantry, they want to engage a tank as soon as they see it because they don't want it close. But actually, like the closer it is,
Of course, makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and you guys get to play with the Stugnas and stuff like that?
No.
The rockets. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
maybe had an RPG or so.
Yeah, we had a quick training with the some of the RPG they had there. I don't remember the name. The nice one, which is super easy to train. It's like 20 minutes training.
Yeah.
And you can use it, to be honest. And it's like click and play.
Yeah. Really simple.
Yeah.
Huh?
And the guys, so the guys were part of the hooligan scene. They actually ended up having some of this gear. And actually, I know they engaged some tanks, and they succeeded in the engagement. And they got training after that, but I was the closest person they had, like, with a tanking background. So I didn't think my experience going to be valid for the people there, but actually, luckily, it was, useful.
That's cool. So what about, where was I going to go with that one? What about the drone situation? You wanna let us in about, did you guys hear any drones or see them?
Yeah, we've seen drones. The drones we've seen, we actually, to this day, we don't know if they were friend or not friend. Actually, like one of the drones we saw him dropping something, like around like 500 meters from our unit, and like we were like, is it somebody training? Is it some sabotage? Is it like marking for like artillery fire? And then like our unit kind of went around like saying like, hey, anybody is training? Anybody has like some drones? And everyone's like, no. And then we're like, okay, but if it's the intelligence doing it, they're probably not gonna tell us anyway.
Yeah.
Because whatever reason. And if it's the Russians, then we're fucked.
Exactly. Then they're that close.
Yeah.
But you guys didn't have any close calls with
No,
them or anything like that, no?
no.
But you probably know of people that...
Yeah, but... So I have some of my friends now, they're like in a drone unit. So it's definitely like... But it's the drones, you have like the short range drones. So like every unit gonna have like the drone operator now. It's like we're like in a full cyberpunk universe now.
Exactly, yeah.
And it goes from like the small like recon thing to
The vampires.
Yeah.
The big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and also like different operation. Actually, like there's really high death rate among the drone operators.
Yeah.
Often it's like at launch, like the drones blow up, especially if it's like those a bit more amateur. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the old days, it used to be the guy with the stripes or the stars on the shoulder that would get hit. Now it's the little dork gamer.
Yeah.
That's playing.
Yeah.
video.
I mean, it's funny because it is the gamers.
Yeah,
like,
they are.
It's definitely the gamers who are like ended up being the drone operators.
Their reaction times are just uncanny.
Yeah.
I mean, I wandered stupidly into a Warzone game and I was like, oh, well, what's going on? And no.
Yeah.
Too old.
Yeah.
Don't have the reaction time. I was like, okay, I need to orientate myself. Okay, headshot.
Yeah.
And then Russian 13-year-old boy talking smack about my mom.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, I don't want to play this game anymore. So, what's the biggest misconception that people have about the war in Ukraine?
I think the biggest grip I have is like when people kind of, now it's a bit less, but like I would say 2 years ago, a year ago, every time there was like a village falling or a village being gained and people are like, oh, like now the war is turning and like now the tides are changing. And I was like the whole time saying like, no, we're past that. I mean, like, it's not because like if tomorrow like the Ukrainians win like 500 like kilometers of terrain, it still probably will not change that much to the fact that it's still it's an entrenched warfare and it's not going to be solved by military means. So like Ukraine has to kind of be able to resist long enough until the Russians are
depleted.
It's
a war of attrition.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be won on the battlefield.
No.
Yeah. How
do you see this playing out?
I think there's few options. I think international political one where like there is some kind of like really shitty like peace treaty being made.
But Ukraine's going to get the short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
They're going to lose. Yeah. They're definitely losing a lot of territory.
They're losing territory. They're going to have to recognize probably Crimea and like this kind of stuff. So like and then the problem is it's not going to guarantee any security, and probably like the conflict going to light up again in 5-10 years from now.
Yeah.
So that's option one. Option two is like a collapse, the internal collapse of one of the two countries.
Yeah. I was thinking that.
Like, like it almost happened in Russia when they had like the
Wagner
the
group.
groups. Yeah. Like that was really close. I mean, like we almost witnessed history. I mean, like the guys just choke. The guys just choke. If he will have driven to Moscow, I mean, we could have seen like a proper modern coup in a Western country.
70 kilometers.
Yeah. The guy just choked on history.
Yeah. Jesus.
So, yeah.
The cook.
Yeah, the cook, yeah.
And then he got taken out on a plane, which everybody knew he was on, which I still find fishy.
Well, what's fishy about it?
Something stinks. Come on, you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. I ain't buying that one. Yeah. He's living it up on Haiti somewhere.
You think he's still alive?
I don't know, man.
Oh, no. I was like, when he kind of like decided to come up to peace and be okay, like, I can have a talk with Putin and, everything is fine. I was like, this guy's dead already.
Yeah,
He's
exactly. Then why the fuck would he do something stupid like that?
He choked on history. He got scared. That's literally what happened. He just realized how big it was.
Yeah.
And instead of like, kind of like embrace, and I'm not saying it would have been better if he would have done it, because, I mean, he was probably as bad as Putin, but I think he just got scared of like facing the monumental task of like, I'm gonna have to take down Putin and declare myself the new president or whatever. And then he was like, I'm way over my head. No. And then probably Putin came with like, either maybe they had his family members or like maybe they said like, hey, okay, come in, like, like let's chill out. And he was like, okay, thanks, I'm forgiven. And then like coming in, it's like,
you get rid of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your views on, like, a lot of Danes are asking, and I know some people from Poland, and I know that Poland is probably one of the most well-armed countries in the world right now. I think last time I saw it was 375,000 standing. That's a mix between NATO troops and Polish.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the Polish guys on the border, they're itching for a fight.
Yeah. I mean, Poland is never a country that is recommended to engage with.
It's one of those things, cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war, because you open that gate, man.
Yeah.
Because they have a bone to pick.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't see like Poland like doing offensive operation, but if
it's this.
Yeah.
Come get some boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if they send the Grom after them. Ooh.
Yeah. It's a good line of defense for Europe.
And Poland, I don't think we should be worried there, but I'm guessing that there are countries that should be more worried than others. I think the Finnish border and all the Baltics, they're kind of in a semi-safe zone
I think
compared to Moldova and countries down there in the south.
I think Estonia is probably the one at risk.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are saying that's why there's a lot of NATO exercises going on, I'm guessing, up there.
Yeah, I mean, like Latvia is full of NATO, like which is like Danes and French Canadians mostly.
Yeah.
And my speculation why it's Danes and French Canadian, it's because it's the hardest to spy on.
Really?
Because if you have like Russian operative who want to gather information, they're gonna have to find Russian operative who speak either Danish or French Canadian.
Yeah.
Which is not French.
Okay, that's a really cool point of view.
So I'm pretty convinced that's the two reasons, because then it's like, they're going to have to put like really good people to do that, which going to take them off from either Canada or like Denmark to like relocate them there and then do the stuff.
Just get those sexy Sparrow School KGB girls. Oh, man.
I need to go to the loo.
Yeah, but I think we're kind of done here.
Ooh,
so
okay, that's a way to finish it.
That's his end of the story.
Yes.
And before we end off, Mike, you have 2 bars, and let's plug them.
3 bars.
3 bars.
Compasset Ulbar.
Compasset Ulbar.
In Österbro.
That's on the corner of Jakvai and Österborgel.
Yes. I have Maxim Pivot Bar on Old Boulevard 27.
Yes.
And St. Pauli 54 on Hamto in front of Kulbyn.
That's on Hemtol, yes, and they have a Tabasco shot there. So,
yes, Mexicana.
Dude, thank you so much for such an interesting and intriguing story. I mean, I think we could have gone on for hours.
Yeah.
And let's do it again sometime, man.
Cheers.
So say goodbye, Mike.
Cheers.
And Bam Bam out.